Well, this market told us today some things we've always known. When financials do well, the rest of the market does well. But I have to tell you, this whole thing, and Steve may feel differently, we manufactured this thing on Friday when we got the jobs number, and there was only 74,000 jobs. There was also 270,000 people who said they couldn't get to work because of the weather. That's double what it used to be.
So you mean that what happened was we manufactured the sell-off Friday and Monday, and then everyone realized, well, maybe it was just the weather, and everything's really okay after.
Oh, and we're so proud of ourselves here on Wall Street, aren't we? Because if you take half of those people who would have otherwise been working, add it to the 74, you've got 210,000 people who are got jobs, and you don't have a ripple. Everything's going and locked and loaded and doing fine. Right now, financials are showing that they can throw away all the mortgage officers, and they can still make money, and that is a big thing.
Danny, what do you think?
We still need a catalyst for forward growth. So we're going to see an awful lot of back and forth. Volatility is good, particularly for the brokers like myself. So I like to see this up and down and craziness and people pulling their hair out. But the fact is, we really want to see that growth catalyst going forward. We're going to see it in M&A, I think, because big companies have huge balance sheets. For them to get growth, it's not going to be organic. It's going to be by buying other companies.
So do you think this is a market in search of a catalyst to move higher? Is that what you're saying, that there are people kind of waiting to pounce?
It will be, I think, going forward. And as I said before, Kelly, I really think that first quarter earnings, so this is a little bit further in the distance, that's really going to be where we're going to see what our mettle is.
All right, we're getting some of that. And that's exactly what Nathan was saying. We talk about the financials. See, Bank of America, granted, they're coming off kind of a tougher year relative to some of the others, but the big banks so far, JPMorgan, Wells, Bank of America, are telling you a story that's more consistent with an improving economy than a not improving one.
It's not as consistent with an improving economy as I think it should be. I was very interested in the recent story about the lack of lending on the part of JPMorgan. Now, as an economics reporter, that troubles me. As an investor, it gives me scope for optimism in the following way. There's a lot more profit, I would think, in the bank actually lending money and taking advantage of what should be a huge net interest margin gap than there is in whatever else they're doing with their money right now. So the idea that there's scope for further profitability through the old get your hands dirty business of lending money makes me relatively optimistic about that.
There's just going to be demand there, right?
Sorry?
Is it sort of a where's the demand story?
I think there's going to be a demand story. I think there's going to be a regulatory story in there, and I think there's going to be a story about confidence in the economy on the part of those borrowing money and those lending the money. Those are the two things that are important, I think.
Yeah, Eamon?
Yeah, we saw the President of the United States down in North Carolina today, and it makes me wonder, he's talking manufacturing and how the federal government can help stimulate manufacturing job growth, but you wonder coming off of this lousy jobs report whether or not we've entered into a phase of this recovery where we're seeing output really increasing, but jobs are not there in manufacturing in particular, and you wonder what the federal government can actually do to really do something about that. I mean, are their hands tied at this point? Have they done every stimulative thing that they can possibly do? And now we're in this phase where it's just going to be anemic jobs growth in manufacturing.
But how